Hi, we're reviewing the Missoula Marathon in Missoula, Montana. Congratulations on completing it.
Thanks. Number 49. Everyone talked about this marathon in the 50 States Club. Everyone says how much they liked it. And as Montana goes with its many mountains, that it's probably one of the easier ones.
In Montana?
Yeah. So we all know I attempted Montana a few years ago at 10,000 feet, but I had to catch a flight, so I had to truncate the race and make it a half marathon. So I had to go back to Montana and actually conquer it. So this time I picked Missoula Marathon because that's what all the 50 staters were saying was a great one to do, and I wanted to find out for myself.
So did you find out? Was it a good one? It was one of the, in the echelon of better marathons, okay?
Yeah, I thought it was very, very well organized. The communication was very good. I think, we booked it last fall. Great communication, great organization. We went to the expo the day before the race. We flew into Bozeman, which is still like 2.5 hours from Missoula.
Okay.
I think Missoula itself has an airport. We didn't fly into that. But, do that if you can, and you can catch a flight into there. That will be right and nice and convenient. But yeah, the expo was the day before inside the Caris Park Pavilion. It was very well organized, very easy. There were always people there to help you with volunteer questions, handing out your shirts, which if you want to hold up the shirt that I got, they had nice shirts, they're dry fit shirts. This was for the marathon. The half marathon had like a nice plum purple color one, and I knew I had to do the marathon, but I really liked the color of the other one, but I'm still happy with the shirt. So we got that, and we were sort of in and out of there and ready to rock and roll the next morning.
So that next morning, race day, it's a point-to-point marathon, right? So how do runners get to the start line, whether they're doing the full or the half?
Yeah, you have to go to the University of Montana, right outside that parking lot and that Grizzly Stadium. They had buses going to the half marathon, and they had a couple of buses going to the full marathon, and they were very good about having the volunteers there saying, half this way, full that way, and getting people organized, and you got in line. I didn't have to wait long. Like I got there probably about like 4:15, 4:20 in the morning. So really, the other thing is you don't really get a lot of sleep. I woke up at like 2:45 for the day.
6 a.m. start, right? For the
6
race?
a.m. marathon start. So the buses roll from 4:15 to 5:15, and they were kind of adamant, like, don't be late for the buses, make sure you get there. And so we woke up early, and we just got there as soon as we could, and he dropped me off, and I walked to the bus and got on relatively soon, within a few minutes.
All right.
Yeah.
So then there's the race itself.
The race itself, yes. So yes, once they drop you off out in this area called Frenchtown, 20 plus miles away or so, it wasn't like in the total middle of nowhere. It was right off the highway, but it was kind of neat. They had a nice 26.2 all lit up. You can take your picture there. They had a ton of porta potties, which is like,
Okay.
I always find that's like bonus points for the race organizers. That's always a good thing. They had lines and lines and lines of them. It was crazy. They had plenty. So it wasn't like runners were like, oh no, I have to wait in this huge long line. It wasn't bad at all.
Excellent. Good.
And they had drinks and stuff like that, but I had my own stuff.
And how was the course? Was it a road race? Were you on trails?
Yeah, I mean, road race all the way, which is a nice switch from what I recently had done. Really was a good race. I mean, a lot of it was straight for a long, long time. And then I think we started turning around, I don't know, I'd say mile 9 or so. Thankfully, it wasn't a full sun day. It was cloudy because those first 9 to 10 miles would have been really tough out in full sun. But again, we started at 6 a.m., so it wasn't really super bad.
All right. And then how about support on the course, and then like after the race, support activities, things like that?
Oh yeah, the support on the course was really good. Everyone's always super friendly. I had brought my own Gatorade for a while, and I just kind of used that, and then I filled it up like halfway, and it all worked out pretty well. Yeah, overall it was a good course, and it was pretty, you know, for sure. There was one pretty big hill around mile 13,
Okay.
13 to 14 or so. There was a porta potty like at the top, so like I did take a break there just to kind of, you know, empty out and then know that I could like replenish the liquids the rest of the way and not have to go again. But yeah, otherwise it was pretty good, and it, you know, was a pretty good course, and you know, a lot of people at the start, a lot of pacers. I started behind the 5-hour pacer, you know, being with some friends, but you know, it was plentiful. You know, if you want to keep up with the pacers, you could. I just like to run my own race. I don't really pay attention to everyone else. So yeah, otherwise good. It was a good course.
Good.
You think afterwards, the after party show?
They fed you, right?
Yeah. There was definitely food. There was mostly like some salads and bananas, and some snacks. So we grabbed some of that. But usually after the race, we just want to get out of there, and we had to check out of our hotel, so we didn't wait around too long. But overall, it was a pretty good race, and this was the medal, which is certainly very nice. But yeah, I don't even know how many people did it. Actually, I didn't go back and take a look, but you know, it was a pretty popular race. I think it is a popular race for Montana, probably because it's not at 10,000 feet. The elevation on my Garmin says it was like 2,800 feet, and if you had asked me, do you think it affected you? I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, you know, I just kind of run the race. I don't really think about it too much. I didn't feel like breathing was difficult or anything like that.
Right.
I felt like even though it was very cloudy out and not sunny, I still felt, and it rained a little bit, not enough in my opinion. Like I felt like it was humid out, and it was in the 60s. So, you know, we all know marathon is anytime
Even at
it's
6
over.
a.m. The
Yeah,
temperature was in the 60s
it was like
to get started.
low 60s, yeah. So like ideally I would want the temperature to be in the 40s or 45 or up to 50. But, you know, I felt like it was warm even though it wasn't sunny. But I was so grateful like it wasn't sunny, because that would have just been a little bit too much. But and it was nice coming into the finish, crossing that bridge, and the arches were on the other side of it, which was really kind of nice. Once you get back into Missoula, though, you do a lot of like squares and turns into the town, and honestly, it all looked the same to me. I was just following the road and where I needed to go, but I just, you know, after a while, I was like, this all looks the same. I just know where I am on my watch. Like my tangents weren't too far off. I think I ran 26.37, something like that. So my tangents weren't far off the mark. I was just, you know, following the road.
All right.
You know.
All right.
But yeah, pretty cool.
So the Missoula Marathon, Missoula, Montana, late June. On the calendar.
Yes.
And sounds like a good one.
Yeah, it's definitely a good one. If you have the chance to get out there, it's beautiful. Check it out. Glacier National Park, we also visited there after the race. It's gorgeous. It's like 2.5 hours north of there, but if you do get out there, find some extra days to stop there. We also went whitewater rafting like the night before marathon, which is crazy. Like I never had done anything like that before. Usually I should have been sleeping. And I should have been eating dinner and going to bed early, but that's why I didn't get much sleep. But it was super fun, and you got to do it. You live once. You got to enjoy everything that you can and just kind of soak it all in.
All right.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
Excellent. Missoula.
State 49, done.